Hi. So, you're very welcome to your second online yoga with resistance bands class. So today is Monday, the 23rd of March, and we're still respecting social distance. And so here we are instead. So I'm recording this from home this evening. Hopefully there won't be too many interruptions or intrusions in terms of dogs barking or neighbours. Shouldn't be too many neighbours out around outside, but same as if we were in the studio in class together, whatever happens, we'll just work through it and maybe have the odd giggle along the way. So I hope you're keeping well. I hope the stresses and strains of the very bizarre situation we're finding ourselves in is not taking too much of a toll on you. And this is your chance to, maybe for a little while, step out of the bizarreness of the day-to-day, step into yourself, step onto your mat or your floor, wherever you might be, and your mat will be on the floor actually, won't it? It's hardly floating, so but wherever you might go, whatever you might be practicing on, and hopefully just have a little bit of distance from the worries of the mind as well, which is I think something we're all having to, all having to navigate at the moment. Excuse me. So for your class this evening, have your bands handy. So we'll particularly be we're going to do a little bit more upper body work this time, because a lot of the last week's class was focusing on hip openers and the lower part of the body. So we will give the entire body a workout and everything will get a little bit of a look in, but we'll just practice a little bit differently today and have a bit more in terms of standing postures, as well as the lying ones. So have your blue band handy as well. If you've purchased bands from me or borrowed bands from me recently and they're not knotted, you'll probably get away without that, or without having to have them knotted for this class and for most of the classes actually. I'll just tell you how to use them differently if they're just long strips. And then maybe just have your ring band handy as well, the small green one, just in case we decide to use it later. So for now, come to find a comfortable sitting position for yourself for meditation, or if you prefer to lie down, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to stay seated for this one, but if you prefer to lie, just take a moment or two to settle yourself onto your mat, and I can just imagine you all lying down, as you usually prefer to do. If you're sitting, I'd have to see a little bit more of that happening in class to be able to visualize that one, but I can see myself. So take a moment to settle. If there's any discomfort under the lower back, you want to bend the knees and have the soles of the feet onto the floor. I'm just moving around a little bit to try and resolve the cramp in a toe. And then take a moment or two to settle. So wherever you are, whatever time of day, whatever day it is that you're tuning into the class, just take a moment or two to welcome yourself into your space, to make sure that there's as few interruptions or intrusions as possible likely to come in. And that might be difficult if you're practicing at home. I've to go to grips with the reality of things falling off shelves and dogs barking and wanting to climb all over me, while I've been doing more home yoga in the last week or two. So I can imagine if you have kids around or you're sharing your home with anybody else, that it's not quite as easy as just going into a quiet Zen space. But make it as comfortable and make yourself as comfortable wherever you are as you possibly can, given whatever is going on around you. Allow the body, whether you're sitting or whether you're lying down, just to settle. And if you've decided in particular to have a sitting posture, I'm in Thunderbolt, where I just have my knees bent and my feet are behind me. I'm sitting back on my heels and I just have a cushion in here for a little bit of elevation. If you're comfortable with easy cross-legged and you want to come to easy cross-legged, or if you just want to sit with your back up against the wall and the feet out in front of you with the knees bent, that's absolutely fine too. So just find whatever's going to be comfortable for you, so that you can, if you're sitting, just maintain a nice long spine, that you're not collapsing the upper body towards the lower limbs, and that there's nice openness across your heart space, across the chest. So nice distance between the shoulders, shoulder blades coming towards each other at the center of the back. If you're lying down, you might want to just check that your upper back, your thoracic spine is comfortable, that you're not resting onto the bony spine itself, and perhaps just rotating the palms towards the ceiling one at a time, tucking in the shoulder blades, and resting back down comfortably, just lengthening out the spine there again, and making sure that you're nice and comfortable on your back. And if there is any discomfort in the lower back, bend the knees, soles of the feet on the floor. So just take a moment or two as you find your breath, and you meet your breath, to invite a little settling into the physical body, a little settling into the external body. And we describe this initial phase of stillness as more about trying to achieve external stillness, inviting the body to settle, to ground, to become a little stiller. But if you need to move, move. If your body is calling for movement and you want to allow that, please do. Internally, you might be quite busy. So if you've any rush this evening to get here, this morning or this afternoon, whenever it is, wherever you are, if there's been any rush to get to your class, to get yourself down, if you're under any stress or any pressure, which would be understandable at the moment. If your mind is very busy and very active and full of worry or confusion, doubts, uncertainty, all of the things that we're very much being faced with collectively at the moment, it might take a little bit longer for the internal stillness and quietness to come. And that's something that the movement will help you with. So just finding your breath and noticing the breath coming into the body all by itself. Noticing the breath leaving again all by itself. And just allow yourself to drift along with that ebb and flow of the breath moving in and the breath moving out again. Body knowing exactly what to do, exactly how to breathe. Breath knows when it's time to come in and when it's time to go again. So in times of uncertainty, in times when perhaps we really don't know what the next step is, we really don't know what's coming next, we're feeling a little bewildered, perhaps just disconnected or maybe lonely. And I think bewilderment is something that we can all identify with, or confusion. You can trust that your breath knows what to do, that your breath will continue moment to moment to ebb and flow. That even if you don't think about it, even if you don't intervene, the breath will continue. And one thing that I do encourage you to watch out for when you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling perhaps a little bit discombobulated with all of the goings on around us in our current context, it's just to check that you're not holding your breath accidentally. Often when we're stressed, we hold the breath. And that would put us under more stress. It will physiologically stress your body and nervous system. So that's why tuning in, not necessarily interfering with the breath or trying to influence it, but just tuning in is really helpful. Because it just allows that rhythm to flow a little bit more effortlessly. And we're more likely to notice if we're holding on. And as the moments pass little by little, perhaps you might like to invite the breath a little bit more fully into the body. So that you notice a movement around the abdomen area. And whether you're in a seated posture, you're lying down, perhaps taking the hands very lightly to the belly, to either side of the navel. So you're not pressing in, you're just gently resting here. And As you inhale, just watch out for the belly, perhaps turning outwards a little bit. The sides of the arms are close to the body. You may feel the diaphragm moving outwards towards the inner arms. And on your exhalations, notice that gentle release back towards the earth again. Inhaling, just moving outwards to the belly, or allowing the belly to move outwards into the hands, doming outwards. And then exhaling, releasing back to center. And then perhaps moving the awareness to your diaphragm, the rib cage. And as you inhale, just feel that expansion into the arms. As the breath comes in, the diaphragm moves out. It's a lovely concertina movement. The exhalation is just that gentle movement back towards center again. And you're inhaling that full expansion, that lengthening in the side body. And then back to center again. And then this time, if your hands are, if you're sitting, take your hands, maybe the palm of one hand to right about the middle of your solar plexus, so just above the belly, and then I have the back of my other hand to the back of my diaphragm. If you're lying, just gently rest your hand on the solar plexus and then watch out for the connection with the back body. So as you inhale, notice that the diaphragm moves in four directions, not just outwards to the sides, but also front and back. So you're feeling movement outwards, a doming outwards into the palm of the hand, and then out behind you into the back of your hand or towards the mat, towards the earth. And as you exhale, it's just a tiny, subtle little release as everything moves away, as your back moves from the mat or from your hand, and as the front of the body moves away from the hand at the front. And then just gently take your hands to your chest. So I have one hand with my fingertips just below my clavicle, my collarbone on the right side and also on the left. Gently resting here again. And as I inhale, just notice that gentle movement outwards into the hands. And then back. And the exhale. A nice simple movement outwards into the hands on the inhalation. And that resting back to center on the exhalation. And when the breath comes into the body, it's almost like filling a glass of water. The breath moves to the furthest point that it's going to go to initially, and the belly breath is your relaxation breath. So do encourage that nice full breath. Then it comes into the diaphragm, and the chest is the last place where the breath makes its way into. And on its way out, it goes from the top, like when you drink a glass of water, the water goes from the top first, and what's on the bottom is the last to go. So the breath leaves from the chest, the diaphragm, belly. And it's a nice mindful exercise to just choose one of these points of the journey in the breath. So the nostrils would be included. And if you're inhaling nice full breaths through the nostrils, you might choose to place your awareness here. You might choose to place your awareness on the chest, the diaphragm, or the belly. And I suggest perhaps either the nostrils, the belly, or the diaphragm, because the chest, you don't want the breath to stop there, and you don't want to notice the breath kind of at this point. If you take a shorter breath, you might be looking out for the chest first. You might actually stop breathing accidentally or unconsciously at that point. So maybe lower down into the body. And if you're noticing at the nostrils, you might just be sensing out for when the breath comes and goes. And any change in temperature or the coolness, whatever you notice here. Whatever other point you're choosing, you're just simply, almost as if you're train spotting, waiting for the breath to come in. And just notice the movement in that part of the body. Let that be your focal point. And then release it out. Notice the breath leaving at that part of the body as well. Flow with that for a breath or two. As you continue to allow your awareness to rest lightly on your breath coming and going, I just invite you to make your Sankalpa, set your intention for your practice this evening. How would you like the energy of your practice to support you during the next little while? And then also day to day in your life. So the idea of setting a Sankalpa, your intention, is that where our thoughts go, our energy follows, and it almost serves to bring those thoughts to life, or it's a little bit like the law of attraction. Put something out there, send your energy towards it, you're more likely to bring it to be. So let it be something that's about supporting you. And maybe it's about supporting you in the current context. Maybe the current environmental, social, health context is not the biggest concern you have right now. Maybe you have other challenges, other difficulties that you're negotiating. And that's just something that's going on in the backdrop around you. Or maybe you're doing a really good job of remaining grounded, using your meditation, your breath, your practice, and anything else that you have that helps to keep you feeling robust and grounded. And you're feeling okay about what's going on now. You've kind of moved to that phase of acceptance and just surrendering to it and trusting it will work its way out and time will move us on. Maybe there's something else. Maybe it's a project. Maybe it's moving yourself forwards in some way that you'd like to dedicate the positive energy of your practice to. So take a moment, make it something about you, about supporting you and your well-being. And then let your in-breaths represent the calling in, the bringing to be, and almost setting into your unconscious mind that intention. And every breath that you take from now on, every inhalation from now on, will work unconsciously to support you here. And every exhalation is about letting go any barriers, any obstacles, anything that gets in the way of your higher good. Anything that's standing in the way of you finding the strength, the peace, the ease, the calm, the balance, flexibility, whatever it might be that you need at this time. I'm going to invite you to take 3 sign breaths. Bring the shoulders into action so that we can really encourage a nice release from the body. It's always easier when we do invite the shoulders in. So as we inhale, we're going to bring the shoulders up towards the ears and then start to roll them around the back of the body and drop them on your exhalation. Exhale all the way to empty. And then as you inhale, shoulders up towards the ears again, roll them back around behind you, dropping back down towards the earth. Side out. And on your third inhalation, bring the shoulders all the way up, back behind you, releasing, and then letting go. So bring the little movement into the head, just to invite the awakening for the neck. So as you next exhale, allow your chin, your nose, your head to start to drift nice and slowly towards the right shoulder. Pause when you reach the end of the exhale, so that you can just hold on there while you inhale, and then when you exhale again, continue over towards the outer edge of that, towards the shoulder, so the outer edge is your limit. And see where your range of motion is with this. So it might be that your head wants to go all the way around to the side, it might be that it only wants to go halfway. So stay within a comfort zone. Don't push yourself into anything even remotely resembling discomfort here. Take a nice full inhalation. And then sigh yourself back nice and slowly to center again. You're just noticing whatever you're noticing, okay, in terms of any tightness or any tensions or whatever's presenting right now. Take a nice full inhalation here. And then perhaps start to sigh, moving nice and slowly and gently out towards the other shoulder. Again, pause on your exhale or your inhalation, and you might have already reached the outer edge, you might just be halfway. Flow again your exhalation, so either towards that shoulder, or if you're already there, perhaps seeing if there's any more space to move into. Nice full inhalation, and then gently drifting back towards the center on your exhalation. Once more to either side. So moving on your exhales. Pause on your inhalations. Continue to flow over across on the exhales again. Have one One more inhalation. And then drift or glide back to center. Maybe like a nice swan on a lake or something nice and floaty and drifty. An inhalation. If you want to have a breath or two at center before you move to the other side, you decide what's nice for you. Continue over towards the opposite shoulder on an exhalation when you do. Nice full inhalation. Exhaling, either continuing that journey towards the shoulder or perhaps checking if there's any more space there available to you. And then glide over back to center again. Nice full inhalation, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then exhale, tipping your chin very slightly towards your chest. And this will be easier if you're sitting and you don't want to protrude or push too far forwards if you're lying down. Just have a gentle, tiny movement to bring lengthening into the back of the neck, to your cervical spine. And then on an inhalation, whenever you're ready, just release back to a neutral point. And if you're lying down, if you can take your knees towards your chest and your next exhalation, hug the knees, the arms around the knees and give yourself a little rock from side to side. If you're sitting, just come so that you're on your sit bones. Bring your knees towards your chest here. Extend the arms forward, interlace the hands, and then just release the chin to the chest. And you have a little rock from side to side there as well. You won't get the benefit of the massage against the floor for the vertebrae, but just a little nice little stretch there, nice release. And then I invite you to come to meet me in tabletop. So take a moment or two, especially if you're coming from the floor, you need to roll around to one side, and then use whichever arm is on top to ground you to bring yourself back up towards sitting. Just in your tabletop, you're going to take a child's pose first of all before we go any further. And if you don't want to come to kneeling, if you don't like child's pose, if you stay where you are, I'll come and give you another option for that. In fact, if you don't like child's pose, probably the nearest thing, particularly if you were sitting, would be to lie on your back with your knees to your chest and have that little roll from side to side. So we're going to bring the big toes together if you're kneeling. Your knees are wide towards the outer edge of your mat. The wider they go, the deeper the stretch for your inner thighs, so you decide what you want there. And then your hands are underneath your shoulders to start off with. You're just going to push back, push away with the hands, bring your bum back towards your heels. And then one at a time, now please don't come down too quickly, one at a time, walking the hands forward and your gaze is between your thumbs. Invite your shoulders away from your ears, back towards your diaphragm. And now start gently, you might walk away a little further again with the hands. Shift your weight from shoulder to shoulder. So imagine that you're gliding down towards the earth like a floating feather or good fortune floating from the sky to come and bless you and keep you nice and safe. And eventually your elbows will reach the floor, and when they do, you can release your forehead to the floor. If you prefer not to have the forehead on the floor, you might like to stack the hands. Let the forehead rest onto the backs of the hands, or maybe a couple of fists, or if you have a block or a cushion or two, you could use that either. A breath or two there. And then on an inhalation, we're going to bring ourselves back up towards tabletop, or come to tabletop if you have moved to your back. Your knees are underneath your hips, hip distance apart. So coming in towards a nice cat-cow here, spread the fingers nice and wide, really claw in here with the fingertips to take the pressure off the wrists. And if your wrists are sore, move the arm and hands a little bit further forwards. So you can ground the tops of the feet just to take a little bit of weight there off the knees underneath the hips. And then we're going to exhale, tailbone towards your heels, stretching up through the shoulders, arching up towards your thoracic spine, up towards the ceiling, and hold here for a breath. So just wait there. When you're ready to exhale, navel towards spine, you can release your tailbone towards the ceiling, release your shoulders, looking forwards. Exhaling into your cat again. And then releasing into your counter cat. Looking forwards. Back to a neutral table, so navel towards spine here just to protect your back, and if you're pregnant, never bringing it in too tightly. We'll take a little side stretch. So as you exhale, looking around over the right or left shoulder. Flow back to center on your inhalation, nice and slowly. Exhale around to the other side, nice and slowly. Inhale back to center, and then exhale once more around to the side, the original side. Pause for your inhalation here. And when you exhale again, just see if there's a little bit more space for you to look around into. Flow it back to center on your inhalation. Flow it around to the other side on your exhalation. Pause when you inhale, refuel. When you're ready to exhale, just see. Can you maybe get a little bit further around? Is the body lengthening and opening up for you? And then flow back to center. And then take a moment to reach for your resistance bands. So we're going to start with the bands. So I'm coming back up onto my toes here actually, just to give my arches a little stretch out if that would be comfortable for you, if not just onto the tops of the feet. And I'm going to take one band. Now I have loops on my band. If you do, you can put the loops onto your hands. Otherwise, you're going to take the band round under your, so if you have no loops, you might just be holding on here to the flat of the band. And you want to be able to feel a good level of resistance, so that should feel like a bit of an effort. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 bands. 2 is twice the strength of 1. So using 2 bands would be the equivalent of using a green band. They're color coded according to the strength that they are, the strength that they're providing, or the level of resistance that they're providing. Now I'm going to stay here onto my toes just to stretch out the arches. If you want to just make sure that you're not, particularly if you've got a lot of flexibility in your lower back, that you're not overarching like I am here. So navel to spine and just lengthening that out there. And then if you're holding the bands and you're not on the loops, holding onto the loops, just make sure that you're holding on at such a point that there's some red band hanging out in front of you and you feel like you're going to be working here. The bands are underneath the shoulder blades. I have enough here on my toes for now, so you can either stay there, or you can come down onto your heels, or you can kneel up, whichever is more comfortable for you. I'm going to start just by pressing out into the hands. So my hands would be like this if I was holding on to loose bands. Again, make sure that you're not over-flexing the lower back. And then as you exhale, hands come towards the front of the body. Make sure that your bands are underneath the shoulder blades, not too far down, because if you have them halfway down your diaphragm, your ribcage, it might feel like it's constricting your breathing. That's just what I noticed there. And mine were a little bit low down. And then I'm exhaling back to center. You really want to feel like that's an effort. Like if you let go, that's what would happen. Your hands would fly back. We don't want to give ourselves a black eye. So we're going to inhale and open. And exhale and close. Now other options for sitting here would be to sit with the feet out in front of you. So just find something that's comfortable for yourself, because we're going to do a little bit. We're going to do a little bit here. And open. And lengthening forwards, hands coming towards each other, keeping about shoulder distance apart, and just even holding this now should be some effort. So you invite your shoulders back, don't round your thoracic spine, so you don't have this kind of rounding. Pull the shoulders back, and then open as you inhale, and as you exhale, bend the elbows. Have a breath. So you should already feel like you're warming up a little bit here, like your upper body is doing some work. We're going to come into cactus pose from here. So elbows in line with the shoulders, palms forwards. And again, you might just unwrap the band around the hand if you have them unlooped. And then the backs of the hands are going to come back. So allow the bands to invite, to guide the backs of the arms or the backs of the hands back behind you, so that you have that lovely openness there across your chest. And again, remembering particularly if you're pregnant. Don't let that lower back collapse. Don't send your belly outwards. So just trying to keep that nice neutral pelvis. Lovely. And then inhale, open. And exhale. Hands to the thighs and have a breath here. Take a nice full inhalation. Your sigh, I'll be happy to oblige now. Nice full inhalation. And a sighing exhalation. Lovely. So inhaling and opening again here. And then we're going to take a little lateral stretch with it. So come to the floor with your left hand. You can either be onto the palm of the hand. Now if you're holding on to the bands and they're extending and long, you can just rest your weight onto the band. But again, you want to have a nice stretch to the other side. So stability here is really important. So we're going to roll that bicep round. You can keep the band onto the inside of it. And then we're windmilling up here. So look up towards the extended arm. And then just propel yourself back to center, and we'll take it to the other side. So what we don't want is this shoulder collapsing forwards. We want to keep that back, which is why if we externally rotate that bicep, we get that openness. And if you can manage to keep the band onto the inside of the elbow, it just gives you a little bit more support with that. It can be tricky to do. To lengthen that arm. And again, see, that's what it wants to do. So you're really pressing into this band, looking up at the shoulder. So that thumb, rather than revolving forwards, is revolving slightly back behind you here for that openness across the chest. And then we're inhaling back to center, exhaling it out to the other side. And this time we'll go a little bit deeper, and maybe we'll take that arm a little further to the side. If you bend your elbow, the elbow of the hand that's on the floor, you get a deeper stretch for the side body here. Inhale back to center. But as always, you're doing what feels good for you, you're not trying to make the shape. You're trying to make the shape that feels right for you, that feels right for your body. So nice lengthening there into the side body. Lovely. And then back to cactus arms. We're going to take a little torso twist here. Take a nice full inhalation. Exhale around to the right side. Now, when you're going around to the side, try to keep the elbows apart and don't let the arm that's on the far side to where you're going follow you around. So you want to keep everything in place. So you're exhaling round. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, inhale back to center. And then we're going to come to the floor. So start wherever you need to start to get yourself down. We're going to walk now ourselves into a child's pose with this. I'm keeping my knees together. You will, particularly if you're pregnant, need to keep them either side of the belly. But it's nice actually, I've taken them for another side there. It's nice to give your belly a little bit of space and your lungs a little bit of space to move and breathe. We're going to walk the hands forward, make sure those bands are underneath your shoulder blades. And we're not going to be able to get up near your hair or your neck. And then from here, release your shoulders back towards your diaphragm. Look between the thumbs, that space between the thumbs. And then think about releasing the elbows. You're still pressing against the bands, and maybe the forehead comes to the floor. Maybe the neck just releases and hangs a little. It's a nice safe stretch there for the neck if that's the case. And continue to move the shoulder blades down into the bands. Have a breath here. And then we're going to come to all fours. Keep the bands underneath the shoulder blades here again. And we're going to do our tabletop cat-cow from here and see how different it is. See how different this feels from the first time around, because you're weight bearing and a lot of resistance. You're pushing yourself up against these bands that are trying to pull you towards the floor. So nice straight arms, but do not lock your elbows. So nice bend, micro bend there into the elbows. And you'll know if I often invite you for safety reasons not to do that. So watch out if you're somebody who's a little bit more prone to it. You're going to arch up on your exhale with those shoulders up against the bands, release the head between the legs, and then nice and slowly releasing the tailbone towards the ceiling and releasing the shoulders down on the inhalations, exhaling up against it. Inhaling back down. This is really strong on the arms. And then you also feel just that movement in the back up against the bands, and then nice and slowly back down. Lovely. And then you're going to walk yourself back towards sitting. So hopefully you have your mats out in front of you and you'll just be able to come towards sitting here. You're going to take the bands. Let's see, let's try to do this now. I'm going to take bands so that you're holding onto either loop, and you're putting the loop onto a foot. And if you don't, then you make this sort of third loop, which you can put over your knee there for a minute. If you don't have loops on the end of your bands, you're just going to double it over. You can put the lower part on your foot there, and then you can just hold on with your hand to the upper bit, and you get the same sort of look like this versus this. You're just holding it. You're holding it differently because I have. Oh, actually, no, I've held it in both ways because so if you have it, so if you have the bands that haven't been looped up. I'm just going to hold on here for a minute. So you want to make sure that you're on your sit bones. And make sure that you're not allowing any of that collapsing in the lower back if you have that tendency to have a curvy lower back, so that your pelvis is not tilting forwards. You have the shoulders back, shoulder blades towards each other. And then we're going to straighten out the legs. Press through the heels. We're going to inhale. Just open up the shoulders, open up the space between the shoulders. Take the elbows back. Just hold here for a breath or two. So it's like our staff pose or our stiff pose, Dandasana. Take the arms a little bit lower. See when they come back a little bit further. Have a breath. Take a nice full inhalation. So you're rooting down with your sit bones, you're lengthening up through the crown. You've got nice length in your spine here. And then see about inhaling and starting to let the feet come apart. Now I'm not wearing socks and my feet are on the floor, so I slid probably a lot more comfortably there than you will do if you have socks on and your feet are on the mat. So your feet will probably come off the mat for this. Allow that to be okay. And then you want to go as far as is comfortable for you with those legs before you get any feedback from your hips or your thighs, so that your inner thighs, so that they've gone far enough. Press through your heels here. Take the arms back again. So we're coming into a nice wide-legged fan pose here. We're going to exhale back to center, nice and slowly. Take the elbows back, sit up nice and tall. And then inhale, sliding out, opening out here. Take a nice long breath here. Take a little bend into your knees if there's any discomfort. Having the legs on the floor, take the feet a little closer together. If it's too strong, either for your thighs or for your hips. So from here, we're going to continue holding on. So the upper body, feel it across your shoulders there. It's really working, your biceps are really working. We're going to have a little inner and outer thigh rotation. So as you exhale, rotate the big toes in towards each other. And as you inhale, roll out to the side. You can look at the thighs there for a second. Exhaling back in, so you're completely rotating your thighs inwards and outwards. Out on your inhale, and that's like a little movement there into your ball and socket joint for the hips, so it's sprinkling there for the hips. Nice too for flexibility. Then we're going to lift the knees and start to allow the soles of the feet to come towards each other. Sit up nice and tall, and then maybe you'll shorten your bands a little bit more so that you can pull back again. So you're holding up in your nice strong hold here again. Make sure that you don't tip your navel forwards, navel towards the spine. And then you might like to then take the band around either inner thigh, just to facilitate, sorry, my tongue is getting caught up with my teeth tonight for some reason, that hip opener a little bit more. So it's like when we do a cobbler pose without the bands and we use our inner arms to provide that opening. We're using the bands to give us nice, the pulling back on the bands is giving us nice length in our spine, and then this motion here is just allowing a little resistance to facilitate that opening. We're keeping space between our shoulders, and you're working quite hard here in terms of muscular activation. One or two more breaths here. And then nice and slowly release the hands. We'll keep the elbows back, keep the fists back towards your chest, and see how might it be to stretch out the legs again. This time it might be a little bit stronger because you had shortened the bands. And I know it's not that comfortable on the feet. We won't be here for too much longer. Okay. Have a breath. Bend the knees. Slide the soles of the feet onto the floor. Release the bands. Step the feet wide. Hold on to the backs of the thighs for a minute to lift and lengthen. And then release yourself forwards. Hands over the legs. You can release your chin towards your chest. Don't force it, just let the weight of your head lengthen the neck and the cervical spine there for you. And with every exhalation, just allow your belly to come a little bit closer to your thighs as you send your chest out towards the space between the feet, but further forwards, so that you're not allowing your chest to move towards your groin. You can press, use the resistance of your body, so you can press your forearms and your upper arms against your shins and the knees. You can maintain that nice lengthening for the spine and openness there across your chest as you release the neck. And then soften everything. Nice long full inhalations and exhalations. And letting everything go. So inhaling, looking forward, sliding up with the hands, sliding up with the arms, just lovely openness across the heart space. And we're going to take these bands. Actually, you know what, if you have the loops on, you can leave them on your feet. You might just want to take them off so that you can rescue them if they were just the extended bands. So you're going to come to all fours. You let the bands go. You're not going to use them for a minute. Come back up onto the balls of the feet, onto the toes. Hands are out in front of you, coming maybe from tabletop. And you can either come up into your slightly elevated squat, and if that's not nice for your knees, you know, you can come higher. You can come to something like this. It's a more of a goddess squat, which is, so come to whichever variation you prefer. Have a breath or two there. Then you start to shift the weight from one side to the other. This is nice for your balance. You will see about actually balancing and lifting your foot. Not sure that that's really a yoga pose, but be careful if you're pregnant with that you don't fall over altogether. And then you can take your hands to your thighs, take the shoulders back. And if you're coming from a higher point in this as well, just press down into the thighs, straightening the legs and coming towards a forward bend here. It's a nice length so that your crown of your head is in line with your tailbone. Keep the knees nice and soft as you exhale. Take a bend into the knees, belly towards the thighs, crown of the head towards the floor. Release the hands, just give the upper body a complete release there for a minute and then hold on to your elbows. You can straighten the legs, keep the knees nice and soft, micro bend. We're just going to have a little ragdoll fold here as we gently sway around from side to side. Release the hands back to the shins. As you inhale, lengthen forwards, crown of the head, in line with your tailbone. As you exhale, bend the elbows, belly towards the thighs. Really press down with the big toes, and then inhale, hugging in the outer hips towards each other as you take your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale and release. So I'm just going to change the angle here so that you can see me standing. It'll take me a moment to play with it. Recording here on the laptop, so I don't have camera people to change the angle for me. So come to standing, have your bands with you. So if you have the loop in your feet, you can leave them there. If you were on the longer version, just come back to holding the shorter variation of it, but make sure that you're roughly the same distance on both sides, so that you don't have one where you're holding on down here and the other one up here. And you can come to standing into a nice elevated or supported Tadasana there, or mountain pose. So don't let the bands pull you forwards. Shoulders back, externally rotating those arms. Then you can release once you're there and your biceps are externally rotated. So this would be internally rotated. This is externally rotated. You can release the lower arms. The upper and lower arms will work independently of each other. Okay, so our feet are about hip width apart, or slightly closer together. If you're used to practicing your Tadasana, you can lift and spread your toes. We're going to hug in the outer hips towards the midline of the body, and then just a gentle engagement from the core with the navel towards the spine, so that you're nice and long here. You're not collapsing forwards, you're not leaning back, you're not Donald ducking it with your bum too much. If that is one of your challenges, as you know, it's not mine. And even this, as you're pressing against the bands, and then the bands are pulling against the hands. If you're using without the loops and you don't feel like that, you don't feel like, this is a bit of an effort, then just shorten them. Take a nice full inhalation, close the eyes, and then really just root down with the soles of the feet. Lift and spread the toes. Release them back to the floor. So you're inviting your shoulders are being invited towards the earth. You're moving the crown of your head towards the sky. And a lot of engagement here in the muscles to facilitate this. And then as we exhale, we're going to take a little side stretch and banana stretch to the left side. So inhale, allow the left hand to start to move towards the mat. Stretching into the right side of the body here. Lengthen on your inhale, and then exhale, take it to the other side. So we're not collapsing forwards when we do this, we're not sticking our bellies out and leaning back. We're keeping a nice long open line from where we came from, and we're simply stretching from side to side. And then the bands assist us here. So the band in the left hand is assisting us to come towards the floor. The band in the right hand is providing resistance for that stretch into that side of the body. And then the same when we move it to the other side. So it's a nice lengthening here for the body with lots of engagement. Remember all this extra load that the bands provide, all this extra resistance really means that we're doing a lot of very active stretching. And when we're doing this active stretching, the muscles are much more engaged, they're much more likely to attach themselves via tendons and all the other stuff. To the joints, we stabilise the joints and we start to build up a little bit of bone density there because effectively carrying extra weight or weight bearing. So we're going to rotate the fists forward, and then as we inhale, lift. And I'm not lifting my shoulders, I'm lifting my hands. Exhale back down. 2 more of these. Inhale, fists towards the waist. Exhale back down. So just working into those arms and shoulders. Inhale, hips towards the waist. Exhale, back down. So the hands, the fists in towards the side of the body now. Hug in your outer hips. Come back to your mountain. And we're going to inhale out now with the arms. And back to center. Strong work. Inhale out. And back to center. So imagine you've been shopping and instead of a bag full of cans of beans, you have a bag full of nice new shoes or something. Exhale back to center. Fists forwards. And then as we inhale, we're going to lengthen back behind us. Exhale all the way forwards. Inhale, lengthen back. And this is creating this cat-cow kind of movement again here. And the shoulders rounding. And then releasing. So stretching across the back of the body and across the chest. Okay, and then we're going to just do one more lift. And release. And this time as we release, start to hinge forward from the hips. Again, we're coming back down into our half fold here. And allow the bands to invite you now a little bit lower. Take a nice bend into the knees. Take the hands to the shins, don't let go of the bands, or just hold up against the shins and lengthen forwards there into your half fold. Exhale, belly towards the thighs. Take the belly all the way to the thighs. So we're coming towards a chair pose here. See about trying to avoid letting your knees fall forwards over your toes. So keeping your knees ideally over your ankles and then sitting down a little and lifting up. So lifting up here into a chair pose. So make sure that you don't overarch that lower back here again. You want your tailbone towards the floor. And then rather than have your bone towards the wall behind you, which is more of a kind of chair plane pose, we want the bone towards the floor, tailbone towards the floor. Have a breath here, and then lengthen up to standing. Exhale it over to the left side. Inhale it back to center. Exhale it over to the other side. Inhale it back to center. And then we're going to take a bend into our knees, allow the chest to come towards the floor as we hinge forward from the hips. Right to the knees, just so that we can release the bands. Don't worry, I'm not going into another chair, and then press yourself up to standing. Have a nice deep breath and a little wiggle. And giggle if you like. I'm just going to take a moment balancing up onto the balls of the feet and back down. Off to the side without it and back down. Off to the other side without it, back down. Bend your fists and take your elbows, take your fists towards your shoulders and back down. Take them out to the side and back down. See how much more challenging it is with the bands, so I'll just give you an idea of the level of effort and the level of work that you've undertaken this. So throw away one of your bands. Your upper body has worked very hard, so we're just going to give it a little bit of mobilization, and then we're going to give it a rest. So take your band so that you're a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart with it. You can hold on to the sides here. So you're going to take the band out in front of you. And as you inhale, we're going to open. Exhaling nice and slowly back towards center. So to a point where you're holding on, where there's not softness or relaxation, as opposed to floppiness in your band. Inhale and open. Exhale, forwards. Inhale and open. Exhale forwards, and inhale a little bit higher, so above the head. I'm going to kneel down so you can see me. Inhale, open because I'm so tall. And exhale, back towards center. Inhale and open, let the arms come back slightly behind you. And back towards center, and then taking a little bit further and really slowly for this one always. You're taking the arms, fists towards the floor. Starting rotating those arms and shoulders. Inhale and open. Exhale back. Inhale, open. And exhale back. And then once more, inhaling all the way over the head. Exhaling down. Keeping your arms wide towards your pelvis. And then take the arms together. Have a breath. So inhalation. And exhalation, and then we're going to just take our little majorette movement with it for a couple of, so this kind of rotation around the body. So nice mobilization there for the joints, and then move back in the opposite direction. Because you're pulling against that resistance, your arms aren't just flailing around the place, you have that extra stability there for the joints. So it's really nice for the shoulders. So you're going to know you have shoulders after this. You're going to know you have arms, and you want to trace all of the muscles in the body. And then just bring yourself to a little prayer position here. So you're standing. So we're going to get you back down. But actually, before we go to the floor, we want to do a little bit of balance. So maybe you need your prayers. But anyway, you're going to inhale and open. And then exhale, hands back to the floor. And let that hand out to the side and just reach for and find your lump with that. So, again, if your band is not looped, don't worry too much about it. But if you do want to loop it at any point, you're just holding it maybe an inch or two from the top of your band. You don't tie it like a bow, you tie it where you hold both sides and then you wrap it around your hands and link it through that way, and then just pull it. So if you want to have a play with just knotting up your bands like that, before the next class. It might be worth your while. So you can just be holding on like this if you're not looped for now. Otherwise, you're going to take the band onto your right foot. I'm going to say left foot actually, and the reason is because then it'll look as though we're mirroring each other, or I'm mirroring you. And also, if you're right side dominant, it's quite good for the body to learn to do things with the left side first, so that you have the left side training the right and also the right side training the left, which is almost playing catch up. So it just has to balance us out a little bit. So you want to be holding on. So this isn't much good to you, because there's not a whole lot of resistance there. Usually I find if I bend down and hold on around about the knee, then I have a level of resistance where I'm working again. So here, I'm trying to avoid being pulled over to the side. And if I went to this side, I'd be pulling against the band. So find a nice level of resistance like that, because it gives you more assistance, which you want in terms of balance. So you take your right hand to the waist, and always, rather than having the elbow out in this diamond shape, take it back behind you, because it'll open up here across the chest and stabilize that shoulder for you. And then we'll just start first of all by coming up onto the balls of the feet, both feet. And then back down again. And up again. And back down again. And then you can shift the weight onto your right foot and let the left foot hover a little bit. So rather than falling off to the side like this, what we'll do is bend the knee and then try to come back to a more kind of straight, neutral line, just as if we were standing on 2 feet. And then you're just using the band to bring a little bit of a hip opening, a little bit of a hip maneuver into the right, or the left leg. So I literally just have a little bend in my knee, opening it out to the side, kind of taking the knee back in, taking it forwards, opening it out to the side, back behind me, forward, so maybe a little circle there, and then come back in the opposite direction. So your hip opening and your arm sinks, so your rock stars. Oops. Now swing your head, she said it. And then I'm going to come to a 90-degree angle. So flex the foot, flex the feet, hold on to your wall or your radiator shaft, whatever's behind you, and flex both feet. And we're going to open up here on this side. So not too far, not so far that when you go out to the side, you get any pinching or impingement there into the hip. So only as far as nice and comfortable. And then maybe you'll find your calf. So we're moving towards a tree pose. You take that arm on the right arm towards the ceiling. You might want to have it out to the side. You might want to keep it on your waist. So have a little play with it there. And then take that knee back to center, back to your 90-degree angle. And maybe think about stretching out that leg. Press through the heel and invite your shoulder back. So that you're not pulling the shoulders forward. You're engaging your core a little bit more here. And then we're trying to move towards anywhere between here really and here, and no higher than your hip. You're going to think about inhaling. You were wondering, am I cheating by holding onto the radiator shaft? And yes, I was. I'll try and do it without it. Inhale, open out to the side if you like, and then back to center. Bend the knee, and then take that foot to the floor. Take a nice full inhalation in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Exhale, fold forwards. Hands to the shins, crown the head to the floor, lengthen forwards, inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, and just lift that foot. And slide the band onto your left foot, onto your right foot. Hands to the shins, lengthen forwards here. Exhale, bend the knees, belly towards the thighs, crown the head to the floor. And then we're going to lengthen up to standing here. Take a nice breath. So I'm going to do that work on this side. So we'll come up on both feet. First you're onto the balls of both feet just to rebalance the nervous system, coming back down. And then I'm going to let that foot hover and make my little circles here. So it's quite functional movement. It's really helpful actually to have this kind of movement. So bending the knees out, back behind you, and then forwards. Or you could have the leg a little bit straighter. So it's mobility for the hips and motion is motion, and then I'm taking it around in the opposite direction. So generally your non-dominant side is your better balancing side. This is not my better balancing side. And I'm going to take my knee into that 90-degree angle, my foot is still flexed. I'm going to open it out to the side, allow the calf to meet the foot, or the foot to meet the calf. Maybe I'll have a nice broad tree. Maybe I'll have a nice extended tree. Maybe my tree would be more a cactus. So whatever it is you feel like today. I'm going to inhale and lengthen. Again, extend that leg. Your nice 90-degree angle wherever you're at. Inhale, open it out to the side. Feel that your thigh stretch, don't go too far, so your hip and your thigh will tell you when it's enough. And then exhale, nice and slowly back to the floor. Take ground on either hand, step on with both feet, and now I'm going to do that with 2 feet together. Okay, my sense of humor hasn't improved since I came home. Take the shoulders back, lengthen the body, be nice and tall. And then as you exhale, taking the arms forwards a little bit, just allowing the band to guide you towards the floor. Take the hand to the shins, take it again into the knees, and lengthen forwards, drop the bands. Exhale, crown the head to the floor. Take a really good bend into the knees so the belly meets the thighs, cross one ankle behind the other, and come to sitting. Take a breath. Have a nice inhalation, and then come to line with the bands. So you want that action that we came down to the floor with, where we had the band on both feet, soles of both feet, resting here into this band, shoulders back, resting onto the hips, and then lengthening back, lengthening the soles of the feet to the floor. Just go down here to make sure you're still in your line of sight, and then adjust the canvas. So come to line when you're back, pressing your feet into the bands up towards the ceiling. So we're coming towards our supported. Oh, it's not really a supported shoulder stand, but vertically it's a kind of a legs up the wall position here, but we're coming towards that elevation where you give yourself as much help, assistance and resistance here as you like. So you can have the arms quite close to your feet if you like, with the shoulder blades grounded, or you don't need this level of effort on the arms at this stage because we're moving towards cooling down really. So I would say give yourself more band so that when you bring your elbows to the floor, it's really just, you're not feeling like you're holding on here for dear life. Close the eyes. And just allow all that lovely, nurturing, nourishing blood to make its way back to your head, make its way back to your brain. Relaxing your jaw, softening your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Softening everything. Relaxing everything. Relaxing the entire face. Relaxing the shoulders. And you can continue with this for 3 or 4 more breaths, either letting go of the bands and just using your own body to keep you extended, or with the assistance of the bands, whichever you prefer. Imagine positive energy coming through the soles of your feet, and as you exhale, it's washing through you, through the entire body, and it's releasing any tensions, cares, worries, concerns, anything that's not helpful to you presently. And then nice and slowly as you exhale, you can start to really slowly bring the heels towards the floor, bend the knees if there's any discomfort for your core or you're pregnant. And then release yourself back to the floor, releasing the bands. And then coming into your Shavasana. So if you have bolsters or blocks or anything like that at home, particularly if you're pregnant, please use them to elevate your back. So popping your bolster up in a couple of blocks, and then you can either rest out, release, cover yourself with a blanket if you have one nearby. And I'd say always bring a blanket to your home practice with you, because, and maybe a couple of cushions and a pillow as well. Would just be handy to have nearby in case you want to use any alternative props as we go along the weeks. And you want to come to rest. You want to come to a point where take those a couple of minutes to get yourself into a nice, comfortable and relaxed space. We're moving towards our relaxation. So getting yourself set up for that. Just getting yourself ready to release and to let go. You've done loads of work. You have time now. We're going to play Jack. We're going to be Jack Harrison and Sergei Sham. I'm just trying to find him here and line him up for our last few minutes. So, a lot of work, particularly on the upper body this evening. The arms, the shoulders, really stabilizing and building strength here in the muscles, the upper back and the pectoral muscles here, all getting a lot of strengthening and opening. When we have that rounding in the upper back that many of us have, I certainly do, we tend to have weaker muscles in the chest. It's also really good for your breath, really good for the lungs, really strengthening around the diaphragm, and all of that extra effort that you put in there is good for the heart as well. Which is what we want at the moment. We want nice, strong, robust immune systems, and we really want to build strong lungs. So this kind of practice is really helpful. So if you have your bands, a lot of that upper body work, I'd really be encouraging it. Anything with bands tends to be making you breathe longer, deeper breaths, and you really get the benefit then of the strong releases. But now it's your time, your turn, your opportunity, your duty to rest. So relaxing the jaw, softening your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relaxing the forehead, scalp, neck. Letting the entire face dissolve and melt towards the back of your mat and supports beneath you. Relaxing your shoulders, chest, front and back. Your belly above and below the navel. Your hips, your pelvis, your glutes. Thighs, front and back. Shins, calves, ankles, soles of the feet, tops of the feet, and all of your toes. Relaxing your arms, your biceps, elbows, your forearms, wrists, palms of the hands, all of your fingers, backs of the hands. Just letting your arms fall out in any way that feels good. After all that effort, it's time to let go. Do a lot of work for your core as well, through the upper body and through connecting the upper and lower body. Balancing, bringing balance into the physical body and the nervous system. And quietening for the mind as you focus your awareness on your breath and movement. Continue to, I invite you now to continue to focus your awareness on breath and movement. That's the movement of the body in response to the breath. A gentle little dance that's continuing to happen without any resistance. Absolute cooperation between body and breath. Maybe you're letting go of some of the resistance in the body, some of the resistance in the bands, some of the release that we've had through our practice. We can go a little bit of our resistance to what's going on around us. And we can just move into it a bit at ease. It'll pass. It's like every other difficult time in our lives, in the world, will pass. We'll get through it. We'll get through it better if we fight less against it. If we do what we can to help, to mind ourselves, to mind others, to mind ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. If we trust, if we start that fight against what we don't like. I found myself resisting a lot in the last week or two. doesn't make life easier. Find your breath now. Enjoy that reliable, predictable, that very familiar dance between body and breath. And find that peace, that ease, that home, familiarity within. Trust that it will come from the outside again. And for now, just be at one with your body, one with your breath, at peace with yourself.
Salvation Shanti Salvation Purnamada Salvation Mangalam
Peace to you all. May all of you, each of you be well. May you and all those close to you be well. So you can stay here as long as you like. You can spend as long resting, connecting with your breath, connecting with yourself, connecting with your intentions. As you choose, it's never to be, you don't need to leave. You're home, you're safe. When you do choose to bring yourself around, when you do choose to start that journey back into awakening again, I invite you to do so slowly and mindfully. Let little micro movements, little trickles of movement into the body and through the body. Wave yourself or wake yourself up with little ripples and little small waves of movement, not a tsunami of activity and busyness again. And then maybe take a moment or two when you've come to sitting, when you've finished your practice, just to sit, maybe have a few breaths, maybe smile, be grateful for at least something. There must be at least something that you can be grateful for today. Somebody, someone, something, some place. Some comfort, some familiarity for your breath, whatever it might be, that has supported you and that has got you to this point in your day. Think about how you're going to nourish yourself now for the rest of your day, for the evening ahead. I just suggest water, herbal teas, and hot shower at some point for those who are so that they don't nag you too much tomorrow. So thank you for coming to practice. I look forward to seeing you again next week. We're going to try as much as possible from now on to broadcast the classes live at the time that the class was originally scheduled for. So this class will be 6:30 on Mondays. You have a link via Zoom that I email out to you, and it's very simple. You just click on it, and it'll take you pretty much to this page. It might ask you to say yes or agree to something, but it's really just agreeing to enter the page, and then I'll be here. And if you come in, I'll be here for about 10 minutes before the class. I can put on you'll have your video on so you can see me and I can see you, and also we can hear each other backwards and forwards. So it means that we get a chance to have a little chat before the class. The class will then be recorded and sent out afterwards, so if you miss that, you don't miss out. You can tune back in whenever it suits you, whatever time, whatever day, whatever place, with whoever you want as well. So you can share it with anybody in the household who has resistance bands, or you can learn the resistance bands. So take care, be well, stay in touch. If you have any ideas, any suggestions, any thoughts, please drop me a text. 0868142203. WhatsApp is better. I can normally text isn't working very well. Or you can info@thelotusloft.ie, or message me on the Facebook page. But please do keep in touch. I'd love to hear from you. And take care, be well, and I'll see you next week. Namaste. Thank you. Here's my close-up goodbye. Goodbye.